Take a close look at that stubborn pothole in the national capital. It's a pothole that has been rendered invisible by monsoon rains. Not one, not two, not three, not four, but 8 different vehicles meet the same fate in that very same pothole. There seems to be no end to the pothole mess in this country of ours. Just recently, these horrific serial accidents were caught on camera in the national capital region's Faridabad suburb. One can clearly see how people, without interruption, continue to fall into that pothole again and again and again. There is simply no defense against that killer pothole. These incidents from Faridabad's Sarai Khwaja area, but really a story that's available to you from anywhere across the country. Waterlogging, pothole, and you can be sure that you're going to fall face down on the road. No authorities, no civic amenities, no help for any of these people. And we can tell you here on India Today that pothole still exists as you watch these pictures. The big story today, though, is on DIG Rupa, the whistleblower prison cop in Bengaluru who raised the red flag on Sasikala, bribing her way into VVIP privileges and luxuries at the Bengaluru Central Prison. Sasikala, who's been in jail since February this year, was outed in an official report by this lady cop, DIG Rupa, who has now been given marching orders for exposing something that has been an open secret in India, but exposed for the first time in the dirtiest detail possible. 2 crore rupees for VVIP privileges, and Rupa has been asked to get out of her office. Hello, namaste, vanakkam. Thanks very much for tuning in to 5 Live with me, Shiv Arur. That is our top focus this evening. The fate of DIG Rupa, now the most recognizable police face in the country. DIG Rupa, who dared to take on the rich and the powerful in jails administered by her and her service, is now paying the price for it. She's been transferred for her report exposing and laying allegations at Sasikala's door in Bengaluru. Just days after she exposed how AIADMK Chief Sasikala Natarajan was allegedly buying VVIP treatment at Bengaluru's prison, senior police officer D. Rupa, the lady on your left, has been shunted out of her posting as DIG. She's a DIG level officer and she will now be Commissioner for Traffic and Road Safety, a different posting altogether. Even her boss, the ADG, who had denied Rupa's charges and entered into a very public fracas with his junior, has been transferred from his position in the police force. The protests have also reportedly broken out at the Parapana Agrahara prison, with inmates opposing the transfer of Rupa, who is seen as an upright and honest officer who's taken on the rich and powerful through corrupt money means, using their financial power to buy VVIP treatment behind bars. Similar protests had occurred on Saturday, with inmates complaining of a few VVIP prisoners dictating terms within the jail. The opposition, which is the BJP, has accused the ruling Congress government in Karnataka of shielding the corrupt while punishing the honest. But the Chief Minister has so far brazened it out when questioned by India Today.
ಆಡಳಿತದ ಹಿತದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಿಂದ ಅದು ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು. ಅದರಿಂದ ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ನೀವು ಪ್ರೆಸ್ಗೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕ್ಕಾಗತ್ತವನ್ನ.
I don't know. I don't know whether they are transferred or not. But there is a probe has been ordered. Let there be an inquiry and let the report come. And whoever, whether DIG or the DGP, if they have crossed their limit, they will face the consequences.
There is no security to the state government important officers, honest officers in Karnataka, and we have explained about Rupa, DIG recent case also. And state government officers, honest, there is no protection, they must give protection. That's all we requested and we explained, and he is convinced, and you know so many things already written a letter. And he already got all the information. will take appropriate decisions.
Let the inquiry report, be submitted to the government, and then we'll see. No, it is all part of that, inquiry process, I guess.
Whether what the public concern is, or other people, what she has told or what the allegations she has made, whether it is true or not. That is the concern of the people. Other things like administration reasons, the protocol or the duties of an officer, I think it is up to the government. But the public, what is in the public domain is the allegations which she has raised, whether they are true or not. That has to come to the limelight.
Well, DIG Rupa last week had alleged that there was widespread corruption in the prison system, with people like Sasikala enjoying undue privileges. Here's what she had said that has caused this entire controversy.
I know, see, I have no eggs to grind, and if I had any loopholes to hide, I wouldn't have taken this step of exposing. And I don't gain anything by this. And my only intention was bona fide to correct the irregularities in the system. And if for that, if I'm targeted, it is unfair. That is why I'm saying, here what is prevailing is show me the face and I'll tell you the rule. I think that should go.
Joining me live on this story, it's already become a massive political controversy in Karnataka. Let's go straight across to Mohammad Khan of the Congress party, which rules in Karnataka. Also joining us on the phone line is Vivek Reddy of the BJP. Mr. Khan, how do you explain transferring DIG Rupa at this point of time along with certain others, but DIG Rupa principally, who is seen as a person who's basically raised the red flag on this issue? How do you explain transferring her even before an inquiry is complete?
Yes, Shiv, I completely understand where you're coming from, and I understand the concern that this story raises. However, I want to say one thing at the very outset. I was listening to the entire rushes play out from the beginning, and I find the narrative that you guys are portraying to be slightly selective. And I'll tell you why that is, Shiv. You did not mention, and surprisingly the quote of the Chief Minister, when he was informed about these allegations of corruption at the level of the police, when he was informed about them first, he issued a public statement saying that he welcomes the fact that this corruption is being brought to light.
Yes.
And he immediately ordered a probe.
Yes.
Now, that is one part of the story, and that's a very important part of the story.
No,
it shows the zero tolerance attitude of this government towards corruption. Now, with regard to the officer, now with regard to the officer, Shiv, the problem is that the issues which the state government raised relate to her going to the media before she went to her superiors. Now, that is why she has been transferred at last count. It is not a reflection of her work ethic. It is not a reflection of her findings. In fact, quite the contrary, this probe will, the officers who are staffing the probe committee are some of the people with the finest backgrounds, as you yourself will tell us. And these people will conduct a fair and thorough inquiry. This lady went to the press first, and that is in violation of service rules.
Is that a bigger issue, or is the bigger issue the stuff that she's exposed, Mr. Khan? No, understood. There may be some protocol issues. There may be some protocol issues, the ones that you mentioned right now.
You're right.
No, let me bring in Vivek Reddy also of the BJP to get an answer. I'll bring you. I'll have a follow-up question on that. Vivek Reddy, do you buy what the Congress is saying? DIG Rupa went to the press. They say there's a violation of protocol. It was not in line with the professionalism that her force demands, and therefore she's been transferred pending this entire inquiry. Do you believe that, or do you think this is victimization of a whistleblower police officer?
All these are lame excuses. Let me be very clear. First of all, if a person has brought to the notice of the higher authority about certain serious misdemeanors in the jail house, particularly with respect to drugs being peddled there, with respect to corruption, and with respect to a strange VIP culture.
Yeah.
Immediately, the state government should have addressed the burning problem. Now, if you look at what has happened till date, there is no remedy for this burning problem at all, for all these three issues. What they have done is, the person who has given these complaints has been shunted out of office, and there appears to be some sort of a retribution against the officer. Assuming the officer has gone to...
Okay.
And, that can't be a reason for transferring the officer. You can...
Mohammad Khan, respond to that. The BJP says,
I have a
even if there were protocol violations, which need to be investigated themselves, how can that be a bigger issue than the allegations that this officer has officially put up in her report? Going to the press is pales in comparison to the enormity of the allegations that this lady officer has put in her report. Doesn't that take primacy?
Yes. You're right, Shiv. And I think the equivalence that the BJP spokesperson is trying to draw is false. There is nobody in the Congress who takes away from the seriousness or the gravity of the charges being made by her. Those are very serious allegations. Number two, this is a separate issue, an internal issue, which the Department of Personnel there is looking into. It is something which even the Chief Minister, when you questioned him, he was not aware of. These are procedures and guidelines laid down by themselves. But here, Shiv, I want to point out something to Mr. Vivek Reddy. Sir, in Uttar Pradesh, when Officer Shrestha chastised BJP goons for breaking the law, and they threatened to get her transferred, and then they actually got her transferred.
Yeah.
Then you failed to
absolutely.
raise a voice.
No,
I
Mohammed,
call that hypocrisy.
Absolutely.
Sir. Here we've ordered
that hypocrisy is something we've also highlighted.
Action, Mr. Reddy.
Let me tell you, Mohammed, that the hypocrisy of what happened in UP was something that we have highlighted here on India Today, only for the purposes of this debate, since I don't want to make it only about the politics. We're not talking about what happened in Deoria, but over here. The question that I'm asking you, it's not the BJP asking, I'm asking is, doesn't it send out the wrong message? Doesn't it look bad, Mohammed, the ruling party immediately shunting out these two officers when it appears that in the public eye, this particular officer has actually exposed and had the courage to go to a place where most police officers would probably not dare to touch in their careers, taking on the rich and the powerful.
Right. Right. Shiv, I would say this. I would say that yes, you're right. From a perspective of optics, any individual would say, oh my God, there seems to be a causal link between the two. But I can assure you there is not. As you yourself questioned the Chief Minister, he himself wasn't aware as to whether this transfer had taken place or not. There is no grand design here against her. Okay. If there is anything that the Congress government has proven in Karnataka is that it's a zero tolerance on corruption government. And it is going to take the strongest action if any of these officers are indeed found to be in violation. But at the same time, Shiv, you will agree that these officers, whether they're the IS, the IPS or the Foreign Service or any of the allied services, they work under a set of very distinct service rules. These rules are governed by the Official Secrets Act, these rules are governed by various codes of conduct.
But you know, there are confusing signals, Mohammed Khan, there are confusing signals coming out from the Congress party. One of your ministers says this is just normal departmental proceedings. The other says they've been transferred, you know, to ensure a transparent process. Another says it's nobody's business, nobody needs to explain these particular transfers. There are different voices coming out from the Congress. Vivek Reddy, what is the next step right now? I mean, this appears, or at least the perception is that this is a very brazen move. It's happened so quickly, nothing subtle about these transfers. What is the big message to you?
See, there are two issues here, issues of bigger dimension. This is discussion amongst the people in Karnataka and amongst the opposition parties. See, there has been, since the past 5 years of governance of the Congress, there has been a large-scale, favoritism and some sort of corruption, serious corruption amongst various officers at various levels.
Okay.
So what has happened in the jail issue also is that people more higher than this DGP, against whom Rupa has complained, are involved in this.
Okay.
In the corruption.
No, absolutely.
And that is why this is a shelter. This is a shelter or a protection.
There is no question. There is no question as this political face-off plays out in Karnataka. It is looking very, very bad for the Siddaramaiah government to have brought his hand down so hard on a cop perceived to be a whistleblower who has exposed Sasikala and co. and leveled very, very serious allegations. Vivek Reddy and Mohammed Khan, thank you for joining us. I want to bring in Rohini Swami, our editor in Bengaluru. Rohini, what's the next step? Have we heard from DIG Rupa just yet on this issue? She was very vocal last week. Any reactions from her so far?
Well, she prefers to remain mum at this point of time, Shiv, because obviously there's a lot of pressure on her at this point, and we know that she's made her office a complete fortress, so also the DG of prisons. What is important to understand also now is she has submitted a report, and she submitted to the police department as well as the home department.
Yeah.
Will the Karnataka government come up with a fair report? They've already said an IS officer will be holding investigation into the entire details that she has given in terms of what is happening in Bangalore jail. Will the report come out, or will it be another eyewash? Another thing is, the shunting of these officers, be it the DG prisons, be it the DIG prisons, and now also the jailer himself, it clearly shows what the government is doing is completely trying to save their face. They're trying to save their face from people, because we should remember, if they don't take a stand like this at this point of time, 6 months down the line, Karnataka is going to elections and they will have to prove a point saying, we will not take things lying down.
It's just looking very bad right now. Confused signals coming out of the Siddaramaiah government, and it all, of course, began with Sasikala's arrest in February. What has happened since that time? What are these luxury privileges that she enjoys in jail, according to DIG Rupa? Here's an inside look of Sasikala Natarajan inside prison.
5:15 p.m., 15th February 2017. Chaos, ruckus, and more chaos. These scenes on your screen as Sasikala's cavalcade arrived at the Parappana Agrahara Central Jail on the outskirts of Bengaluru. Chinnamma supporters anxiously waiting, among them some top AIADMK leaders. Moments later, convicted Sasikala surrenders in front of a court, which was shifted inside the jail premises. As soon as she entered the jail premises, AIADMK boss was made to sign the inmate's book. She was now prisoner number 9435. After a detailed medical test, Chinnamma was handed over prison clothes which included 3 saris. Just like other inmates, Sasikala was also briefed about her prison duties, where she will be making candles and sharing cell with 2 other inmates. 6:23 p.m., 15th February 2017. Once the court formalities were done, Sasikala and her sister-in-law Ilavarasi were taken to their cells. 7 p.m., 15th February 2017. AIADMK boss was served a humble meal of ragi balls, chapatis, rice and dal as dinner, and she slept on straw mat on the floor of her cell. With Rohini Swami and Nolan Pinto in Bengaluru, Bureau Report, India Today.
Well, over the weekend, a massive drug scandal smashed right into the Telugu film industry, with several big names of Tollywood stars doing the rounds. They've been summoned by the Hyderabad police. Let's just tell you, 2 days from now, some of those big names will have to appear before the police. And this is a scandal that goes pretty deep. Take a look.
Tollywood is in turmoil. The spotlight shifting from glamour to the murky underworld of drugs. The Telugu film industry's who's who is under police scanner after a major drug racket bust. Many famous names found in the contact list of a supplier of deadly psychedelic drugs. Calvin Mascarenas, the kingpin, was arrested in a big drug bust on July 4th. As the probe widens, casting a big shadow on Tollywood, Telangana Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao convened a high-level meeting. KCR made it clear that the government will not intervene to save anyone involved. 12 Tollywood top-notch celebrities have been summoned, including ace film director Puri Jagannath between July 19 to July 27th. And 15 more are expected to be questioned in the coming days. This is not the first brush of the Telugu film industry with the drug racket, but it has never been this big. It was not just celebrities. The drug cartel was also selling drugs like LSD and meth to schools and college children in and around Hyderabad. While most of those summoned remain silent, some have spoken out, including Charmi Kaur, actor Tarun,
I am talking very open,
and Mumaid Khan.
Thank you once again. Rest, आपको जिन पे believe करना है वो आप लोगों की मर्जी है.
As days are passing by, many more shocking revelations regarding the drug rackets and its networks are emerging. While SIT has summoned 12 of the Tollywood personalities, 15 more are on radar, says our sources. Meanwhile, Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao has made it clear that his government is not going to shield anyone who is involved in this racket. With camera person Damodar, Ashish in Hyderabad for India Today.
And you're not going to believe these images that have been going viral from the national capital. It's a reminder of just how little things actually change, even in the face of adversity. No end to the pothole mess in this country. Take a look at this video. These are CCTV images from Faridabad, one of Delhi's biggest suburbs. There's a pothole hidden by monsoon rain water. But not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, but 8 different vehicles in a matter of just a few minutes and a few hours smash right into that pothole, almost injuring and killing many of those people speeding towards it. Nobody steps forward. The civic bodies haven't even fixed that pothole just yet. Take a look at these pictures. They might seem funny to some. People might find it hilarious that this is happening. But this is our country, and that nobody has come forward from the civic authorities or the government to fix that pothole. As we broadcast, as you watch these images here on India Today, we can confirm to you, it's been many days since these visuals were filmed, at least 6 days ago, and that pothole still exists as we speak. Let's go across to India Today's Kunal. Kunal, amazing images. And that pothole still exists. At least 8 people have fallen into that pothole and nobody's done anything.
As Shiv, you were telling that it may be hilarious to someone, may be funny to someone, but this is not at all funny. This is a very serious matter, and just a few kilometers from national capital this is happening, and for 7 days the pothole was open, and it was an open invitation for anyone to get into it and get and what will happen, you just can imagine. If a small child can go inside this pothole, he might lose his life. So when we are talking about all these pictures, all this video, we also contacted the mayor of Faridabad, and our reporter went there, and he wanted to talk to her, but she didn't appear. She was not in any mood to talk to our reporter. So that was more unfortunate, because such a big incident is happening, and not happening for a few hours, but for almost 7 days. Now what I have heard from my reporters, that the pothole has been covered, but after when we show these pictures on our television screen. So this is the most unfortunate part. It might be hilarious for someone, it might be funny, might count in a funny video segment, but it is not funny, and it is this is
basically saying that if India Today had not started showing these images right here on our channel and on Aaj Tak, the government and the authorities would not have even responded and covered that pothole. More people would have fallen into it.
Yeah, that's the most surprising, and that's the most unfortunate part of this story, because this is not what the CCTV belongs to government. They must be knowing what all is happening on the road, and it is a very crowded part of Faridabad. Faridabad is a big city. It is an NCR city. The Khwaja, Sadar Khwaja Chowk, which where this pothole was existing, is a main chauraha, is a main road, main crossing of the Faridabad city, and still these things are happening, and no one was even bothered to cover that hole from the government side. That is most surprising. And now when we intervened, we have shown these pictures on our television screen, then the agencies came into action, and that has been covered. Now the pothole has been covered, but for how many days, God knows.
Yes, that's really true, and especially since it's the monsoon season, there must be other potholes as well. And like you said, God knows when this pothole is going to pop open again. Kunal, thanks very much for us. You know, just in case it didn't register, and these are crazy images. They're going viral You know, people find them funny. They're part of funny videos on the internet. Nothing funny about this. Please let these images soak in. This is something that involves each and every one of us as citizens. Not one, not two, not three, but 8 vehicles falling into the same pothole with no government agency stepping forward. For 7 days, across 7 days, this pothole has claimed all of these victims. Thankfully, nobody's lost their life, only some minor scratches and injuries. But it took 7 days until India Today highlighted this story this morning, that the civic bodies appeared and quickly, in a ramshackle way, filled up that potentially killer pothole. This just a few kilometers outside the national capital. Big piece of breaking news on one of our top stories this evening on 5 Live. The big Tollywood drug scandal involving many celebrities, including allegedly Ravi Teja, superstar Telugu actor. His family has spoken out for the first time on Ravi Teja, the superstar Telugu actor, being summoned by the police on the 19th. Teja's mother, Rajalakshmi, has spoken to India Today's Priyamvada. First and exclusive, she says her son is innocent. Let's play that out for you right here on 5 Live.
मैम आप बताइए, आपके बेटे को अभी समन्स मिला है ये ड्रग केस में समन होने के लिए, वो क्या समन पे वो एक्सेप्ट करके जाएंगे?
जाएंगे, जरूर जाएंगे, जरूर जाएंगे।
मगर बहुत सारे एक्टर्स के बारे में बताया गया है और ये बताया गया कि आपका बेटा रवि तेजा इतना पॉपुलर एक्टर है यहाँ आंध्रा में, तेलंगाना में, तो उनका नाम भी है उसमें ड्रग रैकेट में।
तो ये गलत से आया है, मिस्टेक कैसा है ये मालूम नहीं है। ये हमारे लड़के के तो कोई वास्ता है, इससे कोई संबंध नहीं है, ऐसे बताया गया था लोगों को, मैं भी सुन रही हूँ। ऐसे ये गलत बात है, बिल्कुल गलत बात है, निर्दोष है, इसका कोई दोष नहीं है, उसके बारे में कोई जानता भी नहीं है हमारे बेटा। ये ड्रग्स कैसे होते, क्या होते, वो कौन था, वो आदमी कौन था, ये भी नहीं जानता।
फिर आपको क्यों लग रहा है कि आपके बेटे का नाम इस पे आया था, इस लिस्ट जो रिलीज हुआ है उसमें आपका बेटा का नाम कैसा फिगर हुआ?
यही तो शक है ना हमको भी। एक बेटा चले गए था, हाँ, ऐसा कुछ एक्सीडेंट में, वो दुख में थे हम लोग। तो दूसरा ये ऐसा झूठ की इंजाम हमारे सिर पे आया था, कितना दुख होते, एक माँ के दुख होते, वो भी शॉक में था। रवि तेजा भी बहुत शॉक में था, मैं भी शॉक में थी। तो लेकिन यही शॉक में हूँ हम लोग तो, लेकिन क्या बताएं, पता नहीं कैसे ये हो गया, वो कौन था, वो क्या था, वो ड्रग क्या होता है, कुछ भी नहीं होता। कितना हेल्थ कॉन्शियस है हमारे बच्चे का, जिम करना, खाना लिमिट से खाना, अपने काम देखना, अपने इतना मजबूरी से, इतना क्या मेहनत से इतना स्टेज में आया था। हाँ, ये आसानी से तो स्टेज में नहीं आया था ना लड़का, ऐसा आदत बैड हैबिट्स होता है।
Is Priyamvada in Hyderabad. Priyamvada, the first person to break their silence, Ravi Teja's mother herself choosing to speak to India Today, first and exclusive to you, completely defending her son as expected, Priyamvada.
Absolutely, she's completely defending her son, but let's also understand some of the important pointers that she had said, saying that why are the other celebrities not being challenged? Other important people in the society have not been summoned. Yeah. She's probably trying to convey that probably the big sharks have escaped the net. And also another important thing why Ravi Teja's name could have figured is his brother, who is known for drug addiction and alcoholism, died in an accident couple of weeks back. In fact, Ravi Teja's mother also speaks about it, saying, I just lost my one son. Of course, he was alcoholic, but he did not have any drug possession. But remember, Ravi Teja's brother was arrested a couple of years back for possessing drugs at his house. So the possibilities of this network cannot be ruled out.
Yes.
And some of the important big names coming, but also a lot of blame game going, and the big sharks going silent on this, talking about the nexus of probably politicians, officials and film personalities in Telangana.
Priyamvada, we're going to try and fix your audio. There's a bit of a problem, if I could. And the Karnataka DIG Prison's Rupa, the whistleblower cop who made those explosive allegations in an official report against Sasikala buying privileges behind bars, has spoken out on her being shunted out from her position as DIG. Here is Rupa.
I'm very expecting it. I'm very expecting it. Have you not comment on it, ma'am? Are you happy the way? Ma'am, one word last. Ma'am, one word last. Keep rolling. Keep rolling, Chino. Ma'am. Madam, last comment, ma'am. I'm very expecting it. I'm very expecting it. Have you not comment on it, ma'am? Are you happy the way? Ma'am, one word last. Ma'am, one word last. Keep rolling. Keep rolling, Chino. Ma'am. Madam, last comment, ma'am.
Well, cornered there by so many of those journalists, at least 100 journalists there in Bengaluru, but Rupa has chosen not to speak right now. She's chosen silence as a political explosion explodes around her. We're going to keep a very close track of that story. Thanks for watching 5 Live. We'll see you at the same time tomorrow. The news continues here on India Today.